Hi, and welcome to Season 2 of Big Sound Small Town, the podcast that spotlights the talented and diverse musicians in small towns and communities. This season we're branching out to include the community of people who make it possible for musicians to be able to perform their music, the producers, the recording engineers, the venue owners, and many others, and as always, the small town musicians. Remember, small town doesn't mean small talent. Hear their stories. Phil gave me an update about the Cleveland County Music Hall of Fame. He said they're in discussions at the moment about a building for the Hall of Fame, and he said the Hall of Fame would also include a museum. They're seeking funding for this building, so if you're interested, please contact Phil Weathers on his Facebook page. He also has a book available, Music Memories of the 60s and 70s, which is available through the Cleveland County Arts Council or through Phil Weathers himself, which I'm sure that you can reach him on Facebook Messenger. So if you're interested in any of these, contact Phil. Today on Big Sound Small Town, my guest is music historian and president of the Cleveland County Music Hall of Fame, Phil Weathers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me today.
Well, so what's going on?
Well, we about a year or so ago decided that we would come up with starting a Cleveland County Music Hall of Fame here in Cleveland County. And
was this your idea?
Well, it's something I've always enjoyed music. I've loved music most of my entire life since I was about 10 years old, and just looking at the history of the music in Cleveland County, with the Earl Scruggs Museum, with the Don Gibson Theater, I just thought, this is something that needed to become a reality.
Sure.
And that's one of the reasons that I've kind of gotten a group together. We have a committee, we have a board, and we're getting this going and hoping to have our first induction ceremony probably late in 2020.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. Now, is it too early to talk about locations?
Well, we have been approached by a few people here in the county. I know Calvin Hastings, that is the owner of the local radio station, sure, The Boss here in the county. He has talked to us about the possibility of using the old WOHS radio station out on Highway 74.
Yep.
We've also had some folks in Kings Mountain that have approached us about using a building in Kings Mountain.
And that's Cleveland County still.
That is Cleveland County. So we're still in that process, right, but at least we've had some interest.
So there is some interest in a place for this to be housed.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Now, is there anybody that, what type of group of people did you get together with? Are these people you know?
Well, so some of them I knew, some I didn't know quite as well, but we've had people that have contacted me personally that had an interest like me,
right,
and we've tried to get people that are in all different parts of the county.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Somebody from the northern end, somebody from Bowling Springs, somebody from Kings Mountain. So we've tried to get someone that has a contact in different areas of the county.
And now, what is the scope of this? I mean, okay, you're here. What type of artist are you looking to induct kind of right away?
Well, of course,
what is the criteria, basically?
well, we're gonna include all genres of music. You know, it's gonna be country, rock, pop. You know, might be gospel, bluegrass.
Right.
All different. You know, all different genres. And what we're looking at with the first induction, as I said, possibly late 2020, or that's what we're shooting for. We would like to. We're probably going to come up, our committee, our board's probably going to come up with the first inductees, which will be some nationally known artists. But we also want to include, you know, some local folks as well. So, but we'll probably come up with the first inductees, and then after that, beginning with the second year, we hope to have nomination forms and let people in the county, you know, nominate
and then I guess y'all will discuss that among the board.
Exactly.
And see whether you know,
if they're justified.
Exactly.
And, you know, go from there.
Yeah, that's a great, you know, there's a great need for that because this county is just full of fabulous musicians and have been.
It really is.
And still is.
It really is.
And there does need to be some recognition for the music that is here.
And, you know, like I told you earlier before we got started, since, you know, this has been out in the media now some, it's been amazing the number of people that I've had approach me, asking me if I know this person or this band, you know, wanting to give me information about a particular person, someone they feel is worthy of being included in the talk or in the conversation.
I agree. That is, and as with this podcast, that is a lot of the way it happens is from recommendation, talking to people. So that's just, that's great. Now, how much of this do you have together? Do you have logos and?
We do. One of the first things, and I'll have to give Angela Patterson-Paget, one of our board members, credit for this, but she contacted Jimmy Carpenter, and Jimmy put together a logo for us. We also have a Facebook page, the Cleveland County Music Hall of Fame, that you can go to, and we'd appreciate you going to and liking it. But we have magnets. We've had magnets of our logo made that you can put on a refrigerator, you can put on the back of your car. I have one on the back of my car.
Can they make recommendations from your Facebook page?
Sure, that's fine. You can send us a message. People do that. Send us questions.
Is this
even if you're interested in being a part of our group? You know, you can let us know that, and we'll reply to you.
Would you like to run the names of the people involved, or you just?
I can name a few.
Maybe that will put someone in contact with someone.
Right. We have, as I mentioned, Angela Patterson-Paget. We have Jackie Sibley Newton. We have Ronnie Wisnett, Mary Fox. We have Patty Weathers. We have Tommy Ellis, Alyssa Cole, and we have Cindy Kaiser Newton. Any of those people you can contact. Okay. And I'm sure they would, be glad to hear from you.
I'm sure they would. Well, it's a pretty big undertaking. So funding. Let's talk about funding. Are you guys in need of funds?
Definitely. Right. Everybody needs some funding. But like you mentioned earlier, we're looking at some locations. We want to eventually have a physical location. We don't have that right now. Right. But we want to have a physical location where we can, people that we induct into the Hall of Fame, where we can have, like here at the Earl Scruggs Museum, where we can, have displays and have information about that artist. And at some point down the road, possibly offer tours for school groups and anybody who would like to come. That's our goal down the road. So we definitely are. You can let us know if you want to donate anything right now. You can go to our Facebook page.
Or if you would like to donate something that would put them in touch with funding through a grant that you would know about or anything like that. I'm sure that any help, they would be just tickled to death.
Exactly. If you know of any grants, you know any grants out there, anything like that, we would certainly like to know that.
Yeah, that's good. That's what else you need to say about it?
Well, let's see. Gosh.
Okay. Well,
I'm trying to think.
All right. Well, let's move that to just one other thing. First local band you saw in Cleveland County?
It was probably, this is going to date me, but probably this is kind of where I got to know Ronnie Wisnant, but it was probably Ronnie Wisnant. I can remember where it was. His band was called Earth, and it was at a dance at the Cleveland County Country Club.
Yeah,
I remember that. They played outside, out back of the country club.
Oh yeah, on the deck or something back there
right.
in the back. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I just, it's one of the things that, we'll date you. We won't try to put a date on that, but I usually like to ask people what was the first live music they saw.
Right.
And everybody's had a different take on it.
Right.
But
we do, we have a lot of history here in Cleveland County of music. Like I said, I've always been a music fan, and I just feel like we need to recognize, now that we have the Earl Scruggs Museum, we have the Don Gibson Theater, things like that.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of talent here that we need to recognize more, and that's one of our goals.
I agree. That's a worthy task, and a difficult task at that, because there are so many. I both envy you and don't envy you.
Right.
Because as with most things, well, we won't even. I was going to say, it's hard to keep everybody satisfied with selections when you do something like that. Someone feels slighted or feel like they've been slighted. So that part of it is surely a deal. But you have a lot of people with you, so that should help. I mean, it's not like you're going out and picking them.
Right.
So
and we can only do so many at a time.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm sure money and stuff will have a lot to do with the number you can induct.
It will. So, it will. Yep, it will. But we'll be getting out more information about that induction ceremony and where it will be and when it will be on down the road.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I will keep listeners updated for when it's coming, and you can go to their Facebook page.
Yes, please do that.
And Phil, I really appreciate you taking the time and coming talking to me about this.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
All right.
I really do appreciate it, and I know our board members do.
All right.
Thank you.
Look them up.